These are the top 5 mistakes I've made in my entrepreneurship journey. Number 1, hiring interns. I think there is a time and place to hire interns, but when you're starting off as a startup, you might not actually have the resources to set up the structure for them to thrive in. When I decided to hire my interns, I was like, it's an opportunity to get some help, get some support. Wages are potentially lower, and some of them were free. But little did I know that telling an intern, hey, like, try to do this, and them not actually having the experience makes it quite difficult for them to actually find success. One thing I wish I did earlier was, instead of hiring interns, was actually hiring contractors to start with the development right away, because, oh, would you know, someone who has experience can help you develop something. In the future, hiring interns is something I'd love to come back to and help give experience to students that need it. But until we have the resources to actually be financially stable, first and foremost, then I think that's something we would pursue after. At the end of the day, it's just not the most important thing. Number 2, communication. Communication is so important because this helps set expectations. This helps with setting clear deadlines. If you or your co-founder or another teammate is not on the same page, it leads to a lot of struggle. Communication is something that I didn't know how to best proceed with at the beginning. And this led to actually a lot of dysfunction within my team. And it actually led to one of our co-founders leaving. And while communication is a two-way street, it's on me to own up to my part and see what I could have done better. I did not take the time to set clear expectations of roles and really take the time to vocalize my needs and what I needed to see out of the person. And likewise, it was on him to communicate his needs and his deadlines to me. Because we both didn't do that, that led to a lot of bitterness and resentment and frustration between team members, which could have all been avoided if we learned how to communicate properly ahead of time. And it doesn't just apply to work relationships. This could be family, personal relationships. Communication is key in all of them. Number 3, have focus and drive. As I was going along this entrepreneurship journey, there were so many opportunities available to me. From being able to hire interns, to sponsoring a scholarship, to hosting our own hackathon. These are really awesome opportunities I'm grateful for. But ultimately, they weren't the most important thing. People were also telling me of other things that I could check out, like, oh, this market's really great to hit, or have you considered this option? And there were so many available paths for me to take. I had to choose what was the MIT, or the most important thing to do at the time. What I felt in my stomach was that we needed to get the product out, we need to develop it and actually test and see what the market says. People will pull you left and right, but it's up to you to cut through that noise and say, hey, this is where I believe that I need to be right now. And this is where I'm gonna work towards. Or else, if you try to do everything, you won't have enough activation energy to do anything meaningful. So you end up doing nothing. All right, number 4, understand the user. Just like how you'll get a lot of noise with people telling you which path to pursue, you'll also get a lot of noise from people telling you, oh, you should implement this feature, or why are you bothering with that thing? No one's gonna want that. They're coming from good places, don't get me wrong. You can take their feedback, but ultimately you have to listen to the user, the people that are actually gonna use the product. What good is it for someone to give you feedback, but they don't know what your demographic is like at all? So take the time to listen to the user and what they want, and see how you can implement their feedback so they can ultimately use your product and pay you for it. I really struggled with this because it sucked when I first started. It was very easy for me to be persuaded by other people's thoughts and opinions. Like, oh, you're right. Why am I even trying this point? This person's right. I should, pivot or pursue a different path. But at the end of the day, we knew that there was a market. We knew that with expresume, students wanted this product. There were people that were seeking jobs, and that's what we kept hearing. And so we were like, let's keep pursuing this further. Because not only do I want it, but there are other people that want the product as well. Finally, number 5, enjoy the process. This one really hits home for me because this is still something I struggle with. While you still want to be first to the market, you still want to iterate as fast as possible. I was in this rush, in this hurry, and letting this anxiety kind of creep up on me all the time. Like, man, we're not done this. We got to finish this. When are we going to be ready? It's not enough. I need to keep trying harder, do all these things. But I was not actually appreciating the actual skills and tools I was able to learn from this opportunity. Being able to build my own startup to learn how to start a business from the ground up. These skills are very much interdisciplinary and intangible to a certain extent that I'm developing right now. And I know at the end of the day, even if expresume, my startup, it goes belly up and nothing happens of it, I know the skills that I'm learning right now. I'll be able to apply these skills at any corporate job or my next venture. At the end of the day, what you're doing is not as important as who you're becoming. I know the path that I'm on right now, that God's placed me on, is exactly where I need to be. My encouragement to you is to take that time and enjoy the present moment that you've been placed in. Because like every season, it will come to an end. So you might as well enjoy the ride. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're curious to learn more about expresume and what I do, feel free to click the top link in the description. We help students land more interviews and jobs with their resume. Click here to watch the next video. Thanks so much for watching.